Hi guys, Cosmic Diva here, and I wanted to come online today and share a bit of information with you guys, as well as some of my most recent captures and finds on the internet. What you're looking at right now, or what you just saw there, was a GIF from the webcams at CERN. And if you guys are interested in any of that stuff, there's plenty of information to be found online. I just found that was a very interesting GIF of a webcam shot of the parking lot and the inside of the CERN machine mysteriously being sucked away into a nothingness vacuum, which is quite interesting. Did you guys know that we have just entered a new age of humanity? That's right. They're calling it the Anthropocene. It means the age of humans. A scientific working group at an international meeting of geologists just declared this new age to be here and in full effect. Humanity has become so prevalent and powerful on Earth, they say that we are now globally affecting the geologic record. The actual rock record, that is, that's been used by geologists to divide the past into named blocks of time. So, could this have to do with our multiple suns that we've been seeing in the sky? I know a lot of people are calling this flares, but I've been taking lots of pictures and captures of this over the last few years, and the sun definitely went from being a sun, or at least a sun-looking object, to something that has extra flaring with it. And for me, and in my cameras, a constant extra, what I've been calling a SunBuddy, off to the side of it. And I've captured this both on film, both on still camera, and as of lately, I've been capturing it using a solar filter. Now, again, I know a lot of people are saying that this is easily explainable, but to be honest with all of you trolls, I've yet to have heard any explanation beyond a flare. And I'm sorry, as a photographer, that explanation is simply not enough. Looking at this shot here, you can see there are strange, just really unusual flaring and dots. And, you know, in my opinion and from my teaching as a photographer, flares move. Flares move, and they move according to your camera movement, as well as the light source and its position. In this case, our light source being what we know to be our sun. Now, I have spent a number of years photographing the sky, and in the beginning it was for nothing more than to have a really cool set of screensavers, and just because I found enjoyment and something to do with, you know, testing out my cameras and testing out new lenses. So it was purely accidental that I discovered this, and I can tell you, when I started capturing images of the sun and moon all the way back in 2011, I saw multiple things, but I regarded those things as nothing more than what everyone else is saying, just strange and unusual lens flaring. Some people regard this now as gravitational lensing, where you're seeing the object in multiple places because of the bending of the light. So some of these pictures here are some of my older shots. I lived in a different place at this time, and I was closer to the ocean, the Pacific Ocean. So perhaps that had something to do with the difference in the way the flares showed up. Maybe it does. I don't see why it wouldn't. And as you can see, this type of sun that I was capturing is not quite this sun, and I'm using, you know, pretty much all of the same instruments that I was using before to capture the sun, from my phone to high definition video camera to 35 millimeter still camera, and that this picture is way different now. This is a hot mess, period, point blank. And I'm at such a loss for an understanding of what this truly is. And it'd be great to be able to dismiss this, but I'm sorry. Once I add a solar filter over my shots, I cannot agree that this is simply flaring. I just can't agree with it. And not to mention, I know we've all noticed our clouds and the changing in weather. And this was something I was told in the beginning once I first started to publish my videos on YouTube, that if something was perturbing, invading the space of the sun, or if there was a new planet in the sky of some sort, we would know it based on the geological changes around us happening to our Earth. And some of the things that I was told was that I was dumb, and if something was really close or something bad was in our galaxy or changing things, we would know this because there would be earthquakes, floods, volcanoes. The Earth would just be acting up. Our skies would be acting up. Quite frankly, isn't that what we're seeing now, people? I mean, you only need to go outside to feel that the sun has gotten hotter. If you pull out your camera phone and you take a picture of the sun, whether it's in the morning or as it sets, you will see anomalies. And this is for everyone. This is for anyone who stepped out and taken a shot and started to film things. You are witnessing changes. Now, in this shot here, you can see that I'm shooting through my solar filter sheet, and it's placed over my camera phone, and I'm capturing stuff like this. And even when I remove the solar sheet from my cameras, you still see this weird stuff. This is not like any flare I've ever seen before in all of my days of photography. And to give you guys a little bit of background on me, I've been holding a camera in my hands since I was a child. And I've always taken pictures of the sun, the outdoors, pets, people. And so I've had to deal and interact with flaring of all different types. And sometimes it's a beautiful thing to add to your shot, and other times it just simply catches your attention. If you check out the allskycam.com network, you'll find tons of webcams, and I've been watching them for a long time. And if you check out certain places, you will see different types of flaring, but as of lately, there's been one commonality within and amongst all of the webcams, and that is the red orb. Now, sometimes it's green, depending on the cams, but one thing that, has been constant now is this red orb that keeps appearing in so many webcams. Now, I think it's time to panic when we see this on all the webcams, but for now, we're seeing this in certain places at certain times. And you can check out my page here, as you can see the names. If you can go look this up yourself, and you see the times clearly stamped there. I had no say over these cameras. I don't control them. I'm just observing, just like you can look. And if you think that this is just flaring, good for you. However, there are some of us who see anomalies that do not act in sync with what a flare typically does. And now a flare does move around, and it usually sticks with its light source. Oftentimes a flare has a light source behind, can sometimes even show a light behind the original light source. So it kind of goes out in a line diagonally across, and according to the way you move your camera, move your body, or the way the light source moves, the flare goes around with it. But it all stays together. It all keeps a straight line. As far as I know, and as far as I've always seen, flares don't have twins. Flares don't have doubling effects to the left and the right. They don't do any of that stuff. But if you look at the webcams that I'm sharing with you now, like this one here from the Windy Point Observatory in Texas, you see this red. Now, if you want to call that a flare, that's great. But now you also notice going directly through the sun is this light streaking, this green, weird light streak. And here, and you can check out here in Vancouver, Canada, in their Skycam, we don't see the red dot. We don't see the red end of what you might consider to be a flare. What we see is a white orb, and the white orb is moving along with the sun, but opposite. And from one side, you see the sun on the east, you see the orb on the west, and within the camera body, you see a green orb of some sort. Now, if you're into that stuff, it kind of looks like a UFO, yeah? But you can see from the cam view as well as the panoramic view just below it, you still see this white orb as it's moving its way on out of the shot. Now, the all-sky cams are definitely like any typical camera sitting outside. They are subject to wind and dust and bugs and birds. But I think when you start to see similarities within the different cameras that are all around the world, you have to give this a different look, and we just can no longer say this is a flare. Quite honestly, I think that we are having a thinning of some very important atmospheric layers, and with that thinning, we are now able to see things that we were not able to see before. And perhaps seeing these things could have an alarming effect to a lot of people if we could see this every day. And if you could walk out and see this with your own eyes, I think while a lot of us will look at it and accept it as it is and know that our earth is changing and we're going into a different time, I think just as many people may flip out and do crazy things, not go to work. You wouldn't function normally. So it is probably for the best that we're not being told everything up front, because I do not believe everyone can handle it. Now, if you look at my cams here, you can see what I'm saying may have some validity here, because if you see the lines going across the frame here of the webcam, you see these lines. These are airplanes, and they are spraying the skies. Now, a lot of you have probably heard of chemtrailing, and that is what I believe is happening here. And if they spray the skies, they block out this view, possibly as well as cooling off the earth. I don't know if you've walked outside lately, but I've seen what I think is unusual, and that's the formation of one giant cloud right underneath the sunlight that literally blocks out the sun and darkens the area over where I live. A channel on YouTube, you can see the name up there, Amazing Space 2, and they have been running a live feed from the ISS. Now, if you watch this, you will probably be highly upset, because every few minutes the camera seems to fuzz out, go away, turn off, or maybe they're shutting it off and they switch to a different camera angle. And I'd love to say that this was just maybe the camera's having an error or some sort, or maybe they're just giving us a better show by flipping in and out. But then if you watch for a while, you'll see anomalies lighten up slowly into the shot. And like you see now, just beneath the ISS, the framing parts here, I don't know anything about this body model or whatever this thing is floating in outer space that's taking these pictures, but here it is, the astronaut space station, and you can see things clearly coming into view. Now, could these things be a part of the camera itself that's capturing the picture? Could this be an anomaly that's right outside the window of the ISS? Could the ISS be simply not paying attention and capturing every shot? I don't know. NASA has decided to discontinue some of their cameras that were running on a regular basis to share shots with us of our sun. So, with little explanation as to the whys and what fors, all we have left are the few webcams that are pointed at the sky and shots like this of the ISS, where we can clearly see objects coming into view. Now, older videos of the ISS were always confusing to me because I expected to see more stars. But what we get now is stuff like this. The object comes in, floats away, they cut it off. And then when it comes back in, you've got screen fudge like this. Like, what is all this? And if you look really closely within the framing of the ISS, you see the roundness of the camera lens. Now, this artifacting could be artifacting. It could be stuff that's really up there. Who knows? I know if they keep flipping away the shot like that, you certainly give a lot of credit to the people who are saying things that sound outrageous and wild. And if they start to shut down cameras that we've been viewing for a long time, well, that creates more questions, doesn't it? So here's more of the ISS feed as it goes on. Through over the course of a few hours, I captured some of the important stuff. You can see below as I'm zooming through several hours of footage. Of course, the camera goes in and out, and they let you know that the high definition cameras are encountering a few issues. Now, when they come back in, you see all of these different anomalies, and I'd love to say that these are camera parts, but having looked inside my camera often to clean it, I've never seen any parts like this. And this camera looks like a basic webcam to me. No offense to the good people at NASA. If you are good people, I'm not saying that you are. I'm just going to say that because it's nice. But look at this unusual flaring lighting. I mean, you can see the moon is not there. So what is it? You see these flares. Is this just simply coming off the sun? And what is the sun lighting up that's going opposite the camera? You would think that with the light, as far as I know, if you are shooting a light source coming, in the direction of your camera, I know flaring to be going in a different direction. Now, I'm not in outer space, so we don't know. None of us can say for sure unless we've all been to outer space what flares do up there. So, yes, every single thing that you're looking at could be nothing more than the artifacting that comes with lens flaring, especially when you're shooting something near something as bright as our sun. Now, there are a lot of people who make videos out there who are saying that, we don't have a sun and this is an artificial sun. And that's wacky and wild, but it could have some credence to it. If you look online, you can find really a lot of patents by Bausch and Lomb and, our Department of Defense, NASA, and people who have created things that really could be put up there to bounce light back to the earth for heating purposes. So is it possible that there's an object in space that could bounce light back to us that would be as bright as the sun? Yes, I do believe that's possible. Absolutely. And how do we know that the ISS isn't doing just that? We wouldn't know. You simply wouldn't know. We need to travel up there to know what is what and be factual about it. So, unfortunately, we are still stuck with a lot of questions, but I do believe that disclosure is being made in bits and pieces. Okay, so if you look right here, I've got another capture still of the ISS with what looks like our sun behind the ISS now, and an object coming into view in front of the ISS off to the left side of our screen. And that looks like the moon that came in, but hey, where's it going? Where's it going? It's gone, right? Was that the moon? I don't know. Do you know? I think it's the moon. And I'm guessing it's the moon because the sun is behind it. But where did the moon go? Like, this stuff is so baffling to me. And I'm not in a spaceman. I'm not in outer space. None of us are going to the moon. We're just not. But I can tell you, as someone who owns a really high-powered telescope, who is a photographer, who records and edits video, these are things I have never seen before. We've got all of these, global catastrophes going on, and we're just not being given proper explanation. And that means that the people that we watch on YouTube, we have to start giving more credit to, and we have to promote these people, and we have to watch. And if you are a religious person, you have to pray. There are people who are spending a lot of time and doing a lot of research, and they're giving us more answers than we've ever gotten from the people who should be giving us answers. So let's give these people our support. And they are being silenced. And I think that we have to pay attention. And if more of us are paying attention, then there's more of us to demand an answer. And that's necessary at this time, so that we can either prepare if there's something to prepare for, or heck, we can go outside with our neighbors and friends or with our own equipment and study the skies and get to know this new age that we've stepped into, that I started this video with. In fact, the Anthropocene. Change is here, and we have to pay attention to it because it is now life or death. And what's messed up about the whole thing is that we've all contributed to it. Geez, we could just go on forever about the things that we've created and how we contribute to what's happening to us now. So, hey, this is what it is, and let's start paying attention, people. So if scientists have decided and declared that we've entered a new age, that means there's new information that needs to be learned. That means there's new data that needs to be disseminated, that they've been sitting on, and they're attempting to give us disclosure. But are we paying attention? Are we reading it? I am, and I hope you are. Thanks for checking out my video, guys, and I promise to make more, because there's certainly more to share. There's more out there, and we have to look up. So let's make changes, because change is already here. Thanks for checking out my video, guys. Stay healthy, stay well. Hugs and kisses. Bye.